Shari, I'm so excited to have you on the Dream Life Club podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Very grateful.
I want everyone to know just how much of a badass and rock star you are. So I'm going to read your bio. Shari
and
Short.
Shy. And
Shy.
I'm just kidding.
No. Shari Short is an RIAA certified multi-platinum selling singer, songwriter, producer who has worked with and written for Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, Rita Ora, Sofia Reyes, Anita, Lauv, Armin van Buuren, to name a few. Shari toured as a background singer with Demi Lovato for 2 years and is currently the frontwoman of indie rock alternative band 310, whose new single just dropped today,
which is wild.
I can't wait to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Okay. You've had thousands of songs placed in national and worldwide ad campaigns and TV shows and films, everything from Google to Burger King to Skechers, AT&T, Emily in Paris, Queer Eye, Marvel Hero Project, and a new placement on Hacks.
Yeah,
and that's up for an Emmy recently. Okay, want to talk about that.
Wow.
So there's so much to dive into that I think you can share with our audience about your story.
Sure,
You've pretty much achieved every milestone in the music business as an artist and a writer that we all aspire to achieve.
So nice.
And getting to hear from you directly today, right now, you guys, this is going to be such a treat. I can't tell you how excited I am to learn what it was actually like, to learn what advice you have for other artists and creatives coming up, or anyone going for a dream, actually.
Totally. Yeah.
And what we can glean from your experience, and just to share your energy and heart with us is a gift in and of itself.
Oh, thank you. It's so funny to me, and I'm first off so grateful to be here. I love how we met, which we're going to talk about in a second. But it's such a highlight reel. You know, when you read your bio, it's such a highlight reel, but there's so much more behind it. Right? The ups and downs of the industry, how you got into, how everything kind of turned out is just wild. So we can go through that too. But let's talk how we first met.
Okay, yes.
Do you remember?
I do.
Okay.
Wait, we met in the bathroom, right?
We met in the bathroom.
We met in the bathroom at a Sona event.
Songwriters of North America event. Yep, exactly. It was. I was like, I just love your vibe. I'm
Wait.
like, I love your outfit.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then afterwards, weren't we just happened to be sitting next to each other?
I just came. I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna go. You were like front row, which is so ballsy. Which I'm usually always.
I didn't know anyone.
And I was like, do you know what? I did. There were so many people in the room. I'm like, I'm just going to go sit next to her. And we did, and we chatted, and we were like, we wanted to keep talking, but obviously they had like the event. And so we're like, oh, we got to be quiet.
Shut up.
So we didn't even get to, this is like a fun little.
This is our catch up.
This is our catch up.
But also with everything more.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So, let's dive in.
Okay.
Actually, first, I want everybody to know I have a notepad here with like things I wanted to remember to talk about. And you have...
I do not have a notebook. I did not make notes. I literally brought a pad that says iconic.
Because you're iconic?
But it's actually because it's a mirror just in case I have anything in my teeth. That's facts.
And eyeshadow palette.
Exactly. Just in case, sometimes you need a little zhuzh.
Okay, I love that so much. And actually just doing that is iconic. She's representing. It's very meta.
I mean, very meta. All right, now let's Iconic London sponsor you. Okay?
Yes.
That's what we need next.
Iconic London. Where are you?
Exactly.
Okay, so Shari, you have a storied background. I feel like I want to start when you were 15 years old. You started touring with the band Air Supply.
Yes, yeah.
How does a 15-year-old become on a national touring act at that level of international acclaim?
It's wild. So I'm originally from, I don't even think you know this, but I'm from a small town in Idaho.
Okay.
From 20 minutes from the Canadian border. Okay. Small town called Bonners Ferry, 2,500 people in the town that I grew up in. So in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I started playing guitar at 10, and just played a little bit of acoustic, dabbled in electric, but mainly acoustic, playing Jewel and Alanis Morissette covers and all of that. But I didn't start songwriting until I was about 14. This is a little sad, but it's...
A year before you were on tour. Okay.
Well, it's wild.
Okay,
but it sounds crazy, but I do feel like even just, 4 years of just playing guitar. I mean, I didn't really write a song. I would just sing a lot of other songs and write songs, but nothing fully. Not a full concept, oh, this is about this. It was more just being shy and being in my bedroom, if I'm being completely honest, because I was very shy growing up. And basically... a friend that I went to school with committed suicide at 14. Oh. It rocked my world. It was the first real like life, like, oh, life is real, life is happening.
Yeah.
And I wrote a song about it, not meaning to write a full song, but really just emotionally for myself. And I remember playing it for his mom, and she was like, I don't think you understand how healing that was for me. And immediately I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I might be shy. This may not be, I may not be, but I feel like this is what I'm meant to do. So
were you shy as a teenager?
I was the kind of kid that would get up in front of a class and cry and have to leave and then like try 3 more times.
Wait, cry because you were so nervous?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, but that continued. I'm still to this day, if I'm going to like perform, mind you, like when I was touring with Demi, it's a little different. You're a background singer. You get more used to it.
Wait. She just sprinkled a touring with Demi Lovato, so I want everyone to catch that. We're getting there.
I'll brush by that. I'll go by that in a second. But, you know, you get more comfortable as time goes on. And I really think that it's about growing and pushing yourself and really like changing your surroundings. And it's weird, but I knew that even as a young girl. Like, I was into sports. I was a basketball player. I was basketball, softball. That's since I was like...
It's rare to have the combination to be artistic and a musician as well as super into sports. I rarely hear those two together.
Well, it's interesting because I think that that's where I got a lot of my work ethic from. Because when you're in, I mean, mind you, and I'm not knocking North Idaho, but like it was, you know, North Idaho. Like I was playing great basketball, but it's just a different kind of how do you say, like, competition?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still amazing talent, but I just loved the sport.
Okay.
I liked, and I think because I was so shy, being aggressive was really, I don't know, it was really helpful for me, like in therapeutically. Anyways, but I really loved sports. I really loved specifically basketball. And then it was at that moment I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And my family was like, what is going on?
Wait,
like,
at the moment where your friend committed suicide and you wrote the song for the mom.
I was like, literally it doesn't interest me anymore.
Really?
I don't know what it was. It was more like I'm putting so much energy. Because I would go to like camps and I'd go to like competitions and I'd go to like Hoop Fest and do all this. It was so much energy. And I loved the workout. I loved the people I was doing it with. But I'm like, this is not my future. Like I was like, this is not it. At 14. But I feel like I have 4 sisters, or I have 3 sisters, 4 of us in total.
Oh, me too. There's 4 of us sisters, yeah.
All girls, no boys?
Girls.
Come on.
No wonder we get along.
I love that.
Wait,
I was
where
like,
are you in the lineup?
Second to youngest.
Me too!
No way.
Oh my God.
Do you know what? Kismet. We knew it.
Yeah.
We knew it. That's so wild.
Yeah, that
I
is wild.
rarely hear that, by the way.
I agree. It's rare.
Come on.
What?
All right,
Okay.
sister. All right. But yeah, so I just decided to do music. So I started writing songs and just kind of like, it was more therapy for me, just kind of like, you know, getting things out. And it was such a weird time and, you know, being with friends and talking about our friend who wasn't there. And it was just strange. So it was more of like, it was a lot of, I was a happy kid, shy, but I was happy, but very dark with the things I was writing. That's just what it was.
Wow.
But I was kind of in, and I am very spiritual too. And I really felt like, like God was leading me in a way and protecting me in such a huge way. But I remember thinking, okay, I need to get discovered. I really didn't know what that meant, but I was like, someone has to hear these songs. Someone has to something has to happen. That's the only way I'm going to get out of this small town. Wow. And I remember seeing this thing.
Were any of your sisters musicians?
Yes. My older sister was a musical theater. Okay. And she was trained still to this day. Her name's Sandy, and she lives in Seattle, and she has Seattle's performing arts. She's got a kids theater. It's not just kids, it's everybody, but she's incredible. Okay. But she was more like, I mean, she did a lot of plays growing up, so I was always in her plays. So that was a part of it, but I was always like, when I say that I'm shy, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd get so sick backstage. But then when I was doing it, it was like...
You were in flow.
It was in the flow, 100%. Like, that is exactly the word that I would use, in the flow. And you're just like, oh, okay, this is not about me. It's no longer about me. It's about the audience.
Isn't that crazy? Because I feel the same way. I get so nervous every time I'm about to go on stage, which seems a little ridiculous at this point. It's like, why? You know?
I know exactly.
But so nervous. But the minute you're there, it's almost like I feel like I black out a little bit. Like you don't really know what you're doing.
Yes.
Like you don't remember.
You're like, how did I get here? Here I am. There's lights. Okay. And we're doing this. No, I do. I completely register that. Like it's almost like a little bit of a blackout. Because maybe you're, the adrenaline is so intense.
Yeah, actually.
Interesting. We'll have to go back on that and get some.
Yeah, because I do think a lot of people feel like, because my mom doesn't understand it, for example. She's like, but Sumi, you get so nervous. Why the heck do you want to keep putting yourself on stage? Like, she doesn't get it.
So wild.
But I feel like often it's the things that you're most nervous about that are signs to what you really need to be doing.
Yeah.
Right? Because hiding from that, it's like, that's my growth edge. It's like, why would I not do that? Like, I want to overcome it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
My dad used to say, like, because, when I would go, because I would really get sick. Like, I'd, like, have to jump on the bed and have to, like, because I was a teenager, so my parents would come on and off. I'll get to that, too. But I'm telling a lot of detail. I hope that's okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. It's so good.
But, like, I would tell my dad, I'm like, I feel like the day I'm not nervous anymore. The day I'm not nervous is the day that I suck because I stopped caring.
Yeah.
Because
You would think that even as a teen you knew that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just wild. But so then so basically I saw this thing in the newspaper and it was like, Miss Teen Idaho get discovered. I'm like, this is it. This is my shot.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I was like, I was talking to my parents. I'm like, if I raise this $250 to do this pageant in the big city of Boise, Idaho, will you guys take me? And they were like, at this time, because of everything going on, they're like, we'll make it happen.
Okay.
So I ended up getting there. There's 2 different pageants. I had no idea. There's Miss America and there's Miss USA. Miss America has talent. Miss USA does not. So they were like, oh, honey, there's no talent. But you have to have a swimsuit and you have to compete or you'll forfeit your money. And I'm like, what? Mind you, I'm very mature for my age.
Okay.
Like 14, I'm, developed, I guess. And like, I like was aware of my surroundings. And I'm like, what do you guys think? To my parents, they're like, do you know what? We're here. Let's just do it.
Let's do
Went to Walmart, bought a bright yellow full-piece swimsuit.
Yeah.
My mom's, like, there was, like, I forget, 39 girls. And I'm 14. I, like, barely made the cutoff date.
Right.
And so...
by the way, in retrospect, that's, like, so messed up.
And it was owned by Donald Trump, but we won't get into. So that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
That's a whole other thing.
Right.
But I was like... And the reason that I actually got into it was because... some of the judges were radio people. I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't know how radio worked. I was like, they're going to hear my song and want to put it on the radio.
Right.
Because they're, just like, great,
Right.
this is awesome. I had no idea. But I just still felt very compelled to do it.
If they were independent, I mean, that's not totally out
That is not out of the...
Right?
You're right. You're right. And at that time, too, it was very, very much that way. Like, you could play, like, songs on... Which I did do. Not with these guys, but in other aspects. But so, ended up winning Miss Teen Idaho.
You won.
I won Miss Teen Idaho back in 2000.
Okay.
Wild.
Wow. Okay.
So, and this is all going to connect. So when you go from Miss Teen, and I'm not a pageant girl by any means. Like
This was your first one.
on stage. I beatboxed on stage in a gown.
Wait.
Not even a joke. Don't ask me to beatbox because I am a white
I
girl.
thought there was no talent section.
There wasn't. They just said, do you have any hidden talents? And I was like, yeah, I can beatbox. And they're like, okay, cool, show us. I was like, oh. Didn't know that was going to happen. But whatever. Ended up winning Miss Teen Idaho. But then you have someone who trains you to walk and talk and handle press. Kind of like a media coach, but also like a coach.
Right.
So this year it was in Louisiana. It was Britney Spears, 98 Degrees.
Okay.
It was like a big thing.
To go for Miss USA.
For Miss Teen USA.
Oh, Miss Teen USA, right.
Yes.
Okay.
So my director was the wife of the lead singer of Air's Play.
Ah.
And she goes, my husband has to hear you sing. You have to play for him. And I was like, great. And so I played for him, and he's like, I want to sign you. Let's make a record. And I was like, done. I'm like, who? Miss Teen USA, what?
This little girl from a
Wild.
small town
Yeah.
in Idaho goes to a pageant, ends up having her dream feeling like it's coming true.
So wild. Yeah. So it actually did turn in what I had hoped for and what I felt pulled to. It did happen in a different way, not the way I thought,
Right.
but in a way that was much bigger than I am. So then obviously we made a record. My first album was to tape, which was such a cool experience. And the engineer...
Wait, I'm sorry. So who signed you at the time?
So it was Graham Russell from Air Supply.
Okay.
And he had an indie label called A Nice Pair Records.
Okay.
And so that was my first record deal.
Okay.
Mind you, I went to Miss Teen USA in the summer.
Okay.
Didn't win like top 10 or anything, but I won Miss Congeniality.
No
which was
way.
Super fun.
Okay,
yeah.
it's amazing. Okay.
And then...
And a movie was made after you.
Yes, it was. Not after me, but it came out like 6 months later, which was so wild.
crazy.
And all the people from the pageant were actually in the movie.
No.
Which was really fun.
Really?
So, yeah.
I was kind of making a joke. I didn't. Okay, wow.
Literally, because
okay.
they were all like, I mean, they make fun of pageants in the movie a bit.
Right.
It's very much like tongue in
it's a
cheek.
little tongue in cheek. Yeah. Mhm.
But everybody that actually are doing pageants, like the choreographer, he was in there doing the choreography. So it was really funny to like see.
Right.
Because I think we all, everybody feels that way. I mean,
Right.
don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that are very serious about that. Like it's a very, but at that time too, you're just like, okay.
You kind of get it while you're doing it.
And obviously like as time went on, you realize, oh, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like
right.
we can get into that whole, but you're like teenagers
Right.
walking around in swimsuits. I
Right.
don't know. Like nobody was there to be like, this is a little strange.
Right, right.
Anyways,
Okay.
I digress. I don't know how
Yes.
people feel about that, but
No, Lots to say, but that's a different
lots to say.
conversation.
Exactly.
Yes.
Continued
okay.
after.
Yes.
But then from there, so I made an album. It was with Graham from Air Supply, who wrote all the songs, who was all about like write your own songs. Wasn't trying to write songs, push them to me. He was like, you are such a talent. Like really like
So he was a really
right.
great mentor for you.
an amazing mentor. Still to this day is like a second
that's
dad. Him and his wife are
amazing.
like second parents to me.
Yeah.
And then Mark Towner Williams, who's John Williams, the composer's son, is the one who did the first album, like helped engineer and produce.
And were you like, was your artist name like your name? Or
just
was
Shari Short.
Sherry Short?
Yeah, just Shari Short the whole time. You can hear some of the stuff, and it's, you know, you grow. It
Right,
was such a time.
Right.
I was
but I'm sure
15.
it was good though.
It was such an experience. I got to play all the. They made sure I played all the guitars, even though that's not what I wanted to. But they were like, "No,
Girl.
you play the
So
electric.
you wrote,
play
you sung, and you played guitar.
yes." On
That's
majority of that record,
Really
two tape,
impressive.
Two tape.
Two tape.
which is wild. I love being able to do that. So,
Yeah.
so from there, I opened up like a couple of shows in the U.S. for Air Supply. So it was like BB King's in New York, and then like the Orleans in Vegas because they had like a residency.
So you weren't like background. You opened for them.
I opened. So then it went over so well because it's a different demographic. They're like, we don't know how this is going to work. But then so I opened up, and they're like, we're getting such great feedback that we would love for you to sing background vocals and do a couple duets throughout the show.
Oh my
so I got to do both.
Oh my gosh.
And I basically toured with them for 2 years.
Okay.
While I was finishing school, because obviously I
High
couldn't
school.
do it. High school.
Did you have a tutor with you?
So I had for the first time, I mean, I don't know if it was the first time, but you basically had someone online.
Okay.
And it was like it's now after COVID, everybody's like, oh yeah, do it online.
Right.
But then it was like
really
a really
early.
like, and I'd go back and like take tests and like have to, but I feel like I got a better education in a way, being able to like see the world and then be like, oh yeah, I just saw,
Yeah, I just
the
played
Yucatan
this-
Peninsula
my
and I just
gosh.
walked, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So then from there, I ended up moving to LA for a major, like wanting to sign a major deal because
Okay.
I loved them so much, and I'm so grateful for just the impact they've had on my life. But I also felt that pull of like, okay, I need things to sound more current and more
Okay.
like radio
like-
friendly and
Your age group.
yes, and also like. At the time, like you're finding yourself out as an artist, you don't really know who you are. And even at this time, I did not know
I
artistic.
still don't know who I am.
I was like, listen, and I'm
artistically.
changing all the time. Let's be
always
honest. Always evolving, always. And I mean, look at all the artists that you see. You see artists involved in front of you, and they should be able to. And that's the point of art, right? Growing and changing. So then I came here, and I had a manager, and he basically took me to all like the big showcase for all the major labels. At this time, they were doing a lot of like development deals and things like that still. And I mean, we did everything. I worked with the best producers, the best writers, and I ended up not signing a full record deal with any of the majors. And I was like, my life, like this is crazy. Like everything just kind of came into, I think I was 19 at the time, and I'm like, my life's over. But at the time, like everybody was coming out younger and younger, so age was such a thing, and they'd be like, how old are you? And oh my goodness. And
Oh my god.
so I was like, of course, always cried every birthday just because I was like, oh, I'm getting so old,
Oh my
16, this is terrible. But it's true. But then
Okay.
19, I ended up,
So you
not
didn't
being
get
able
any
to.
offers, or you didn't accept any offers?
No, it was I didn't get any. Like
Okay.
I did not get any. They were like, we love her, we love this. There was all these positive like feedback,
Yeah.
but they're like, we don't know what to do with her. We don't know.
Interesting.
And so I did sign a development deal in there, but not a
Okay.
full out record
Okay.
deal. So it was like
Yeah.
a lot of development where they were like putting me in with, trying more electric stuff, trying more Avril Lavigne at the time. I worked
Okay.
with a team called The Matrix, and then this girl named Jeannie Lurie, and Brandon Christie, who is Lauren Christie. Do you know Lauren Christie? Who did all the Avril Lavigne stuff back in the day.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she, so her she and the Matrix, they took me to my first record label meeting at Maverick Records. So just a lot of history, but a lot of work went into showcasing and then developing and having a 4 or 5 song EP, kind of making that 4 or 5 song EP that you're putting out you don't put it out yet, but you're shopping it is what it is.
Right.
So no one ended up picking that up is what it ended up being, even though after the development.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. But in the interim, Jeannie, one of the girls from she was a songwriter. We wrote a lot of great songs together. We wrote a song together when we first came to LA. And then I ended up I was like, okay, this is one of those roller coaster moments. I need to get a job. I have to figure out how to stay in LA because I know I'm supposed to be here.
Okay.
So I worked.
What did your parents think and your family think about you staying in LA, by the way?
I mean, to be honest, they supported me. In not financially by any means, but in
what you wanted to do.
Yeah, get them, girl. Do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do. And honestly, I'm so grateful for that.
And were they still in Idaho?
Yeah, they're still in Idaho,
Okay.
and still to this day, still in Idaho. But so I ended up working at Burke Williams Day Spa. I ended up waitressing, and I just for the next couple of years just kind of, I would say, hustled is how I would say it, but schmoozing, going to all of the events that you're supposed to go to. You play shows, you write songs, co-write. Co-writing was a new thing for me. I was writing with everybody. And then one of the songs that Jeannie
so Jeannie was kind of acting as your manager?
No, she was just a co-writing friend of mine at the time. My manager was a guy named Joe Belliati.
Okay.
And they signed Michelle Williams. They signed Michelle Branch and Kelly Clarkson, I think, and they had a lot of
Michelle Williams, right?
Yeah, I was
get into that. Okay, later.
We'll get into So then, this is a lot of details. So
no, I love it.
Okay.
I think this is great.
Usually, it's usually a 5-minute thing. We'll wrap it all up with a bow.
Right. No, this is great. This is exactly what we want.
Okay, great. So then from there, I ended up. Just sending stuff out. But then that song, one of the songs...
You know why? Let me just interject for a second. Because I think people don't really understand what it really looks like.
100%.
So this is...
They think it's just success to success to success to success.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to know the journey and know that it's everyone's like, oh, it's luck, but you work hard for it.
So hard.
Preparation meets opportunity. But it's really you work really hard. You
and
open
I'll
those.
Just say, my background, I had a consulting company in D.C., moved here 5 years ago to pursue my music career.
Right.
But I had always had it in mind. This is some messed up programming where I was like, oh, being a singer-songwriter is somehow, quote unquote, easy. Well, 5 years later, I'll tell you, it is not easy. I didn't think easy. I just thought it was fluff or something. It wasn't serious, if you know what I mean. Coming from an Indian immigrant, East Coast mentality, it was not serious work.
Right.
So making that decision to pursue music seemed, I want to say maybe even frivolous or something. And now it's I know it's the exact opposite. Yeah. It's actually pursuing a creative career takes so much courage and so much hard work and so much hustle. And there is no set path. You can't just go through the boxes you're supposed to check. You have to create it yourself. You have to have the stamina, the emotional bandwidth to keep withstanding every rejection after rejection.
So good.
Right? And at the end of the day, making music actually, I believe now, is the most kind of impactful thing we could do because it hits people's hearts.
Come on. Yeah.
Right? It moves people. It's the human experience.
So good.
So I've done a whole 180 on how I think about that. But yeah, so it's so nice to hear from you, because you have achieved so much success also, but what it really looks like.
And what it really, exactly, you nailed it. And what it looks like is a lot of rejection in between, right? So it's redirection is redirection. So that rejection still caused me to keep writing stuff, keep honing my craft. But then we got a call that this one song that we wrote called This Is the Life was going to be on a show, a Disney show. Disney show for a young girl. And it ended up being on Hannah Montana. It ended up being Miley that cut it at 12. And it literally blew up. it changed
So
my
how
life.
many years like after you decided to stay in LA when you didn't get picked up by a major label deal was that cut?
Great question. This is probably like 3 years later.
Okay, so for 3 years,
Yeah.
you're working your ass off.
3-4 years of just like,
Right.
And obviously there's like little
There's little
moments.
things in
There's
between.
almost like you have this hope that goes on, but you're like, no, I'm working. I'm putting a lot of songs out there. Something's got to hit. Something's got to do something, right? But you never know. That's not always guaranteed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that song, it sold, I think it was 3 million domestically, 5 million worldwide. And at the time, when Mechanicals were there were actually albums being sold.
Right.
So I was very lucky to get like the tail end before it changed.
Okay.
With
So your
MP3s and
royalties
streaming.
from that were pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would, I mean, I don't have to like tell all the business, but at the same time, like I remember like sitting there getting off of my second job and I opened like a check for more money than I made at both my jobs for that year.
For the year.
For the year.
Wait, can you share how much it was?
Well,
This check?
I mean, sure. Basically like $127,000. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, what is happening?
Right.
So it was like, mind you, you pay your taxes, you do all,
Right.
I made a lot of money from that that specific song.
And do you continue to get royalties?
Yes, I continue. And now because of this whole 20-year anniversary that just came up, it was such a cool little like moment to like see her do this big anniversary 20th. She did 3 songs. She redid 3 songs, and they redid vinyl, and they did the theme song of the show, The Climb, and our song This Is Life. So I wrote that with Jeannie Lurie, and we just have so much fun talking about it and being like, we can't believe we wrote that in my living room, and now it just started this whole movement. She went on to write a lot of Hannah Montana stuff, so it was very cool to see her journey. But then for me, it changed my trajectory because
So I have to ask you. So like once that got cut and you knew it was going to be on Hannah Montana and it was cut by Miley Cyrus, like that seems like perfect timing for you, right? Like such a cultural moment at the time, like the biggest cultural hit you could maybe get at the time.
Well, we didn't even know she was going to be huge. She was not huge. She was a young little girl that nobody heard of. Literally. Like it was the very first song she ever cut. And she tells the story. She won like a Legends Award recently. And she tells the story. She's like, I was a little girl that nobody knew. And I had my first song called This Is the Life. She's like, and we had to like pay people to come to the pretend show at the Glendale Mall of everyone pretending to sing along. It was just wild. She's like, but in turn, it changed her
First
life.
of all, I love that story.
So cool.
Okay, just so everybody knows that like a lot of these things you have to orchestrate, like you have to orchestrate social proof before things take off too,
because
right?
in the it was for the show. Because in the show, she's a pop star. She's a pop
I
star,
see.
and then
Right,
she
right,
like
right,
so it was
right.
like
Right, it was for the show.
it was for the show.
Right.
But of course, singing along to this song,
Right.
nobody knew the words.
Right.
Nobody knew who Miley Cyrus was.
Right.
Until they did, you know.
Yes.
But so it was really cool to be a part of that moment and just how many young girls at the time it really impacted. It was a positive song. It's like, this is the life. Hold on tight. It's all about dreams. Literally all about like going after your dreams. And I think that it's such a simple message, but it's such a big message.
Yeah.
You know, and we were in giant arenas, kids singing along to this song. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, this is a moment, right? And
what
so,
does that do for your like confidence as a writer?
I mean, I would say at this time I'm still like in my 20s and I'm still like, oh my gosh, like it sounds silly. I don't want to say this because it's going to sound terrible, but it's like it wasn't cool at the time. Does that make sense?
12-year-old.
Yeah, it wasn't cool at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't something that I realized was such a big deal
Interesting.
until later on.
Okay.
You know, and also even like this show was blown up and everyone was like, wow, the show's doing really well. You don't see money for my 9 months to a year. So I was still doing like, great, the song's out, awesome. Now I have people like wanting me to write for all these other shows, like Nickelodeon shows. And that's how I wrote with Ariana Grande. That's how I ended up with Joe Jonas.
Now, were you in the room with these people?
Yes, I was in the room with these people, like writing songs from scratch, trying to find their sound. So it was almost like I became behind the scenes, and there's a couple of people who would call me like the secret weapon because I'd like pull out from these artists, like, what do you really want to say? And it was because no one did that for me. You know what I mean? Nobody was really like, what kind of music do you actually want to make? What do you listen to? What are you excited about? So it was really cool to be able to do that. And then not too long after, I ended up signing to Sony. Sony, the writing camp, which was Evan Bogart. Erica Nuri and David Quinones.
Okay.
And Evan had just come off of writing Halo for Beyonce, SOS for Rihanna. Erica Nuri actually wrote with Michelle Lewis the Wing song. Right. She also had a song with Fantasia that was up for a Grammy. So just amazing writers who were basically mentoring us, signed me to Sony through them. And that's when I started working with everybody. Like the doors were open. I was writing with everybody from like the hip hop world to country to Latin. It was just like
every day, like a different
three
star.
sessions a day,
3 sessions
5 to 6 days a week. Yeah. When you talk, burnout did not exist back then. Right. They were like, no, you're.
Well, also burnout doesn't happen in your 20s. Like now I understand it.
Yeah. Or we're just so numb to like, gotta make it, gotta get the next hit, gotta figure it out that you're like in that. Yeah. No one talked about mental health. Right. Like, it was just the beginning. Me Too movement didn't happen, so we're still dealing with all that.
This was like 2006, 2007?
This was 2006 is when the song came out, so this is like 2000, about 2007, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. And I don't even, the song came out, so this had to be like 2000, maybe it was 2009, 2010, 2011, around then.
Yeah.
Because then, from there, I was like writing with everybody just everyone.
So, okay. So you're signed to Sony, which for most, that's like the milestone that like that seems to be like the end of the journey for a lot of artists coming up, for writers coming up, right? Like, so like, I don't know, what was it like we imagine? Was it like people think, or what was the real experience versus like the dream of a label?
I think, this is the first time I'm even thinking this in my head is like, it was the dream, but it's like you signed and everyone says like, oh, that's when the work begins, which is true. It made me almost be like, okay, finally I signed. I signed somewhere now like people will take me seriously. Do you see what I'm saying? Even though I have years of experience and a good cut behind my belt, it was like now people are going to take me seriously as a pop writer. And and they were. Like I was doing I was working with everybody, like in camps and with people that I'm dreamed of, right? Or never even thought would be mixed up with me, a little girl with a guitar sitting in a room. But I loved it because I learned so much. And it really, like, you had to bring your A game. And you learned while doing, which I feel like is kind of my life story is like, I didn't go get a musical education. My education was like being in the room and learning from the greats, from the best of the best, and just kind of soaking that in. And sometimes you would be like the person in the room who brought a lot of the ideas, and you're like, yes. And there's sometimes you were not. And I loved being that majority of the time because I got to be a fly on the wall and soak in this brilliance. And I'm like, man, you can't pay for this. Like, so I really enjoyed it. It was very tough when you'd like play songs for like the heads of the company of like Sony, and they'd be like, this song's shit, we hate this, we don't like this, and you're like sitting there and you're like,
which also, correct me if I'm wrong, but back then I feel like those opinions were valued a little bit more than they are now. Is
facts.
That true?
Yeah.
Because like now I feel like a lot of artists and writers will be like, well, you're wrong, we like it, we're gonna like, that's what is it Ross Golan? Was it Ross Golan? No, who am I thinking of? Who's Chapel Roan's record? Like who wrote? I think it's Ross Golan.
Dan Nigiro?
Thank you.
I don't know how to say his last name.
Yes. Thank you. But like that's what he says about Chapel getting dropped. He was like, I was celebrating because I felt like the executives were wrong.
Yeah.
Like we were going to take this and go somewhere with it, and they did.
And there were moments where I was like, okay, like sure, I got that feedback. And I could have, like, tail between my legs, gave up, and was like, oh, my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Like, I was in a room of a whole bunch of people, and they, like, listened to my songs. And at the time, I'm so precious about it. Like, these are my song babies, and I love them. And they're like, these are all shit. And you're like, okay. Leave, cry. I, like, actually cried in the meeting, I'm not going to lie. I literally teared up in the meeting, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. And I tried not to, like, and I didn't, like, hysterically break down, but I definitely was like, stop it right now.
Right.
And then, but a couple of those songs actually got cut. So at the same time, but at the time I took their, and I still do, like I still have so much respect, but I realized that,
it's not the end all.
It's not the end all, and art is subjective. Up to the person, subjective, up to the person. It's like, okay, maybe they didn't like that, but it was all men, a lot of men in a room that were maybe 20 years or more older than me, giving me some feedback on this, and I'm like, cool, and I still had so much respect for what they've done, and I still have, and I think it's important to always like, I don't know, like have some people will make, like people will ask me for guidance on songs. And I'm like, this is what I would do. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you. Like if you were like, I really feel strongly about that, your gut wins. You know what I mean? Your gut wins over because you're the artist. And nobody wants to hear what somebody else has to say. They want to hear what you have to say. How messy, however messy it might look, you know? So yeah, signed to Sony. It was amazing. And then Erica Nuri from the writing camp, she called me up and she's like, hey, so Demi's team's looking for a background singer to sing this song called Skyscraper for an Ellen show. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, would you want to do it? I'm like, why not? I always said yes to many things. And I was like, yeah, why not? So I get there.
But you considered yourself more of a writer than a singer at the time?
At the time, I was like completely in rooms being the songwriter. I was the songwriter. And I would make sure and establish that I'm the songwriter because I never wanted to make an artist feel like, oh, is this another artist that's coming in trying? And I'm like, listen, been there, done that. And I really believed that. Like I was like, that was my past life, and here I am. I'm always going to be an artist. Like, I'm always going to create. I'm always going to, like, sing stuff and make stuff happen, but I wasn't pursuing it, and genuinely wasn't pursuing it because I was like, you know, I'm a little too shy. I've done it. I did it, you know. I got to tour. I got to do some fun stuff. But so then I showed up to rehearsal, and they handed me, like, 22 songs to learn. And I was like, what is going on?
You're like, I thought this was just Skyscraper.
I thought it was just Skyscraper. So I was, like, having this whole battle back and forth. I, like, didn't know what to do because they're like, this is for a full tour. This is like the unbroken tour.
Not just for the Ellen show.
But the Ellen show was in a couple days.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so how am I going to, like, I'm signed to Sony. First off, I'm writing 3 sessions 5 days a week. They're never going to let me go on this tour. This is not going to happen. Right. But I was in a meeting like a couple days later with this guy, Jim Velutato, who was one of my reps at Sony. And he was like, nah, do it. He's like, you should do it. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, a lot of our writers that are on tour with Rihanna are getting tons of cuts. And I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. And I'd just gone through like a really, like a big breakup of like three years or so, almost 3.5 years. And so I was like, do you know what? I think this is a good thing for me to do. Like the timing worked out. Mind you, I did a couple with the writing camp. We did like a couple like TV shows. I was a mentor on a couple kids shows on the Hub Network, which was really fun. And then I literally just left and went on tour with Demi Lovato. And it was a great experience. I'm so grateful for it. And
for 2 years?
Off and on for 2 years. Tours are never like...
Right. Straight.
It's usually like, okay, you're gone for 2-3 months, you're back for a month. You're gone for 2-3 months. But the unbroken tour, that was the leg, that was for those 2 years. Yeah. So this is about 2013, I think now is where we're at, 2012 or 2013. And then one of Demi's managers, she had 2. One of them broke off and started her own management company. She was like, wanted it to be like a woman-led management company. And she hired me as her head of music development. And so I started switching to like...
the business side of things.
Business side of things. Mind you, I've always loved business. And even on tour, like people were asking me advice about what is publishing and how do we collect? And I'm like, you got to get it in order.
You had all the answers.
Because I'd been through it, you know? And I'm like, and I like
But you know
business.
what? Even some people who have been through it can't remember shit.
Well, let's be honest.
Or do it wrong.
It's convoluted. It's complicated.
It's so
I feel like it's like America's health system. Like it's very, very intense. And to understand it and be like, oh, this is a copay. This is whatever. It's like, you know, your PRO, you know, collects for this. And then sound exchange. There's so many things. So I was being asked questions while on tour for a lot of situations. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. But that's why I was brought on, you know, management. So then I started managing an artist named Rebecca Black. The first artist, actually. And it was a little nerve-wracking because it was like that. She had Friday years before, and nobody was taking her seriously. And so I had to, like, get into rooms and like, have people, like, give me favors to, like, just get into the room.
Accent,
Well, yeah, but, I mean, and she knew that, too, and it was such a hurdle to go over. But, man, it worked. Like... got in the room with Phineas, got her in the room with Phineas. She did like a couple of songs with him, did remixes, started doing more dance stuff. We were on the dance charts with like 2 different songs, which was amazing. And then I ended up starting my own management company, and I started managing writers, producers, and like mentoring a couple artists. I didn't sign them specifically because I knew how hard managing artists is. And so... during this time was also writing.
Did you have a team?
No.
So you were yourself doing it for all
just
these
me,
different...
just me at this point. When I was with Sony, obviously we had a team, right? And then, so then after that, it was just kind of me figuring it out as management. It was just me. And I was like having like friends help or like if I had a PR person that I could hire for certain things, then I would. And because of going through like a giant, like Philly Mac, a big management company, you know a lot of people. You know makeup artists, you know hair, you know, all the glam people, you know, the PR people that would probably work for certain artists. And so as this was actually happening, I was writing a lot, still writing, still signed to Sony, still writing, but just obviously not 3 times a day. And super single. And I was like, I have nowhere to be. I am just going to like go in and just give it everything I have. And I did some stuff in the Latin world. And I worked a lot with Sofia Reyes on her first album when she was 16. And then her second album, which it blew up. We did a song called R.I.P., which we got. It's all about like female empowerment too, which I think is cute. And it was Rita Ora, Anita, and the song did really, really well. It was called R.I.P. And had global success. And I think it topped the charts on Billboard. I think it went up to 40, or it was 40 or 29, I forget. I don't know why that's such a weird 29 or 40. It did well though.
Yeah.
It did really well.
Huge.
Radio, all of that. So that was really exciting.
Yeah.
I also had some country cuts come out with like big artists. I did a lot in country as well. I'd like go and do, even at this time while I was managing, I'd do like, because in country you usually do like weekends.
Did you? Oh, really?
Like they do weekend shows and then you'll jump on the writer's bus. Like Thomas Rhett had a tour. And I went out with them, and it was Russell Dickerson and Daniel Bradbury. Had a couple Daniel Bradbury cuts. Anyways, a lot of fun. A lot of, but all these.
Wait,
like,
tell us
hats.
about the writer's bus. What does that mean? So after they do a show, like you come back on the bus and you write?
Yeah, so because a lot of times during tour, you have sound check and then you do your show at night. But during the day, you have time to like do whatever you want. Obviously, if we were on a sober tour, Demi, so like. You didn't have time to like be hungover and not be productive. It was like we were in the gym and then we were like being productive, right? So they do that a lot in the country world too, where it's like they have a writer's bus, where whenever there's time, it's like you can go and do vocals. Like I don't know if you saw the document. Was it Ed Sheeran or Benny Blanco? But like Benny Blanco was on the bus. He had a writer's bus with Ed Sheeran, and they did everything in the back of the bus while on tour. It's smart.
I love that.
Because the labels are asking for the next album, and if you can do it at the same time, it's not an easy task.
No.
Because you're like
you kind of want to
touring mode, and then your creative mode, you know?
Right.
Sometimes it's a different space to be in, and everybody is different. Every artist is different. But yeah, so went on the writer's bus a couple times, and it was a lot of fun. So I had that song come out, and then this is when, this is now 2000 and...
Wait, which song
16,
are you talking
17.
about?
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, you said I had that song come out.
Oh, with Daniel Bradbury, like country, and then the Rita Ora song.
Yeah, the Rita Ora song.
Or say Rita Ora, Sofia Reyes, featuring Rita Ora and Anita, called R.I.P. Check it out. And it was, from there, we ended up doing some film and TV stuff, just with one of the producers that I signed. We got a call, and they're like, hey, we need something by tomorrow that needs to sound like this for this commercial. And I wanted to, and I haven't been, like I've sang stuff. I've had moments of like singing on things, but nothing where I'm like, oh yeah, let me give you my vocals. It's usually for demos for other people.
Yeah.
And the time was so short that we're like, okay, let's just do it. And so ended up doing this, and it did, like, I think it got the placement. And so we were like, okay, this is crazy. We need to do a few more things in this vein, and let's like create a band around it. That's how it started. And then we did 1 or 2 more songs, sent them to this agency, to this girl named Marianne Good. She had an agency called AMMG. Love her so much. And she ended up getting our stuff placed everywhere, like from like AT&T to Google Ads, all the things. Like we hit on something that wasn't there. Now, it was very much like a female empowerment, but it's very like blues, rock,
and your
kind
voice,
of country.
like,
dude.
Okay.
I mean, little did I know, I'm like, oh, we're coming back we're making a band, you know? Like we had no idea that this was going to do something. So then So then we're like, okay, let's put together a band name. Let's make it legit. I can use all my marketing background, all the things that I've done from before. All of us, you know,
So there was a producer. Who's the other people on it?
So there's Rick Seibold. He's a producer. There is Andrew Burns, who is also a producer from London. They all live here now. And me. And we're like, here we are.
And you're all,
there's three of us.
multi-instrumentalists and stuff?
Yes. I will say I play guitar, but not as well as Andrew. Andrew is a much better guitar player by far. He was like jazz trained. He's just phenomenal. So he plays all of those guitars. Not like my first album, thank God. Very different. Yes. But it was the three of us were such a great team. Yeah. And I was like, let's call it something because we all live in LA. Yeah. Sounds very cheesy, but I was like, let's do it so when they go through and try to find the artist, we're at the top. So let's choose a number. Smart. So I was like, 310.
God, that marketing brain, all the little things you could think of.
But we didn't know it was going to actually stick and be a part of like years.
So wait, I cut you off. So it's 310.
It's 310 spelled 3 with the number ONEOH. So that's how it is. And we basically had an album called 1111 that did crazy well. We got so many placements, so many placements. And then
do you think that's the best way for like a artist coming up to kind of get traction is to go for placements?
I think that is a big bonus. And the reason I think it's a big bonus is because it's free marketing. All of a sudden, you get a song on a show, everybody's promoting you. NBC's promoting you, this person, whatever the show is on, you know. There's Spotify playlists. All of a sudden, you're getting on playlists where there's fans, huge fans who all of a sudden become your fans. And then they're like, you know, Shazamming, where did this song come from? There's so many things that come into it. And not to talk about money, but we made so much money. I was like, I'm not managing anymore. Wow. Like, this is not what I'm doing. Like, it's too much work this was so amazing. And I got to sing and I got to be creative. Right. Mind you, I became the CEO of a small record label, a boutique record label, of course, at the same time.
Wait, what?
I know.
Oh, by the way.
My years are like kind of like, you know, lots of things happen. You don't just do one thing a year. You do many things in a year. Visionary, right? You're a visionary. Yeah. It's like you have all these ideas and you see what sticks. Yeah. So I was the CEO of a small boutique record label. We signed Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. Okay. Used all the expertise from, you know, managing, from doing all that. Like made her first single, the gorgeous PR. Everything was gorgeous. And this was right before COVID. Still came out, did really well, but then we were all at home being like, okay. So I decided not to come back. To be the CEO anymore. Still very close with with all of them. But I ended up having babies. Okay. I ended up, you know,
how did you meet
COVID.
Your husband?
Okay, so when I was managing Rebecca Black, we went to Norway to work with an artist. And we were working with this artist, and I got on Tinder at the end of my trip and met my husband.
Stop.
I didn't meet him there. It's a long story. That's a whole...
Wait, would you share or no?
I don't mind.
Okay, so you're in.
Oh my gosh, this is such
Norway,
like a
And you get on Tinder for LA.
Oh my gosh, my husband's gonna hate this. Okay, so this is a true story. Okay, 6 months prior, I was working with these producers. You know who Toby Gadd is?
Yes.
So Toby Gadd had two producers that he mentored, Josh Cumbie and Af Sheen, and we worked on lots of projects together. We worked on some Sofia stuff together. That's how I met them in the first place, Sofia Reyes stuff. Okay. And we went to lunch, and they're like, Shari, you got to get on Tinder with us. They were like both newly single. They're like, you got to get on Tinder with us. We're doing like group dates. And
group dates?
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh, isn't that like a hookup app or something? They're like, no, it's not the same thing. That's Grindr. I'm like, what? And I didn't know any of this, by the way. So mind you, I'm like a businesswoman. I'm out here like doing stuff, making stuff happen. Right. And they're like, no, we need somebody else. Like we need a female to come with us to make the girls feel comfortable. We've had so much fun. And I was like, it's not my thing. Next day I'm with them again, and they literally convinced me because they are so good at what they do. They're just like, no, you got to. This is good. We just went bowling, and it was amazing. And they're like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to meet somebody? I'm like, okay. So they ended up helping me with my profile. My profile, like the pictures, they were just so good. My bio was like, if you
were they professional? Were they like your professional photo shoot pictures?
I mean, they were everything. They were a mixture of everything, and that was what they're like. The first one has to be mysterious. The second one, you got to be smiling.
They had
the third one, they had it down. They like had it down. Like credit to them, but that is also who they are. They're very like. But my bio ended up being, if you like your base low and your standards high, swipe right.
Oh hey, wait, stop. Stop. Can I steal that?
Please do. But it was so funny. And so for a couple of days, I was on this. Immediately, it became, I don't know if it's like a dopamine rush, but you're like, oh my gosh. And you're like, there's so many people popping up and super likes. And you're like, this is crazy. Like, and then you're talking, having conversations.
But you're in Norway.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here.
This is
you're
6
back.
months prior.
Oh, got it.
6 months prior here. And then I was like, this is just too much. Like, I have so much going on. We're getting the release of like, of Michelle Williams off the ground. Like, there's so much going on. When I tell you I'm like wearing so many hats, I'm like, I can barely breathe.
Right.
And I was like, I love you guys so much, but I have to like get off Tinder. Like, I just can't. Like, it was fun for a couple days, but now I'm just like so overwhelmed.
Did you go on any one of those group dates with the two of them?
I didn't.
Okay.
I never went on a date. So, and that probably is so me. I'm like, yeah, sure, tease. And then like, nope, not doing it.
Right.
So then I ended up like deleting the app. 6 months later, I'm in Norway. And by the way, you meet so many people and they're so nice. So nice, so good looking, patient, everybody. You're like, where am I? Like, this is, so at the end, we were there, I think, for 9 days, and it was like the 8th day. And I was like, do you know what? I was in the studio. Oh, this is what happened, actually. It was in the studio. There was this artist that we were with. He was in the corner. I won't call him out. But I was like teasing him. I'm like, what are you doing over there? Who are you talking to? Why are you smiling? Like, I'm like giving him a hard time. And he's like, I'm on Tinder. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm on Tinder. And I was like, I have no idea what you're saying. And he turns it around and he's like, it said Tinder. I'm like, Tinder exists outside the U.S.? I had no idea. No idea. And I was like, this is so exciting. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm going to get on Tinder when I get back to my hotel room just because.
Why not?
So I get back on there. I can't believe I'm telling the story.
I love it.
So I get back on there and I realize my profile has been going for 6 months. Because you're supposed to delete the profile, not the app.
Right.
I just deleted
Just leave the app. You couldn't, out of sight, out of mind.
So I'm like literally sitting there in full embarrassment. But thank God, because it was like a 1 mile radius of like where it was at, where I'm sitting basically is where it is. And I was in the hotel. And I'm just there like so embarrassed being like, I'm seeing people I know, industry people. And I'm like, this is.
Oh my God, you were probably mortified.
Mortifying. And I'm like, well, that's what I get for not like, understanding this kind of technology and dating. Anyways, and then I get this lovely message, super like, and a lovely message from this guy. And we just instantly hit it off. We're talking about like spirituality, like talking about like our families for 4 hours.
Texting that night.
Texting through Tinder. And I was like, this is weird. And he was like funny and witty. And I was like, okay, there's something here. Cut to, he wanted to meet me the next day. I didn't. I got really like nervous. So I went back to LA, did not see him, but we talked. And then we ended up getting on FaceTime. And then about a month later, he's like, I'd love to fly and come and see you. This is working. Like, I just feel like this is one of those things, like, we have to meet each other. And I was like, I didn't feel comfortable with him staying in my home.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, that'd be weird. He's like, I can stay somewhere else. Like, no pressure. And so he told me the dates he wanted to come. And I just said, I was like, no, I'm just too much going on. So then, of course, that night, I'm like with one of my greatest gay guy friends. And he's like, what's wrong with you? You just need to go. What's wrong with, no, you're absolutely going. He's like, you're going to book the flight. And he's like, if you go, he's weird. You can have a great vacation. You know people there. You can work with people. I'm like, that's a good point. So I booked my flights without him knowing. And then I sent him my itinerary. And that was it. I ended up seeing him, ended up like after 9 days of being there, he was like, will you be my girlfriend? And then here we are, 2 babies later.
That's a crazy
it's wild.
story.
It's wild.
So eventually he moved to LA for you.
So he moved to LA. We basically got engaged not even a year later. It was like, I want to say like 10 or 11 months. Got engaged and then got married in the courthouse first and then planned our wedding and everything. And then COVID happened. So he was here. COVID happened. So he stayed here and we were just like,
okay, time to have some babies.
This is what it is. And then baby number 1 and then baby number 2. Meanwhile, like, life is happening. Lots of things are happening. 310's doing really well.
Right.
And so then after that, like obviously now, I don't even know where we are time-wise. Are we?
We are actually, we're at almost an hour, but this conversation has flown by because fucking fascinating.
Oh my gosh. Because we talked about Tinder, Another sponsorship for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Bring them.
Why not? But yeah, so then after that, I have 2 beautiful children. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, little Viking boys. And we ended up, starting our lives. And meanwhile, I still do some of the same stuff. I do a lot of film and TV stuff. I started working more on animation in the animation field, which I've never really done.
What does that mean? But on writing songs?
Like writing songs. So there's like an animation project coming out on Netflix in the fall that I've written songs for, and I'm like rapping. One of the vocals for one's rapping and one's singing.
Back to your beatboxing.
Listen, well, even when I first signed to Sony, I started doing a lot of like rapping placement. Oh yeah, like there was a song that was on. What was it called? It's like the #1 on my Spotify page, but it went viral because it was Jojo Siwa's like dance mom song that they had called like Boss Ladies, and I'm rapping in it, and I did not know.
Everybody go check that out.
Oh, it's crazy.
Okay.
I did not know it was going to go viral, and it has upticks because of like JoJo will dance it all the time on her TikTok. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
But like I do a lot of rap. I do a lot of like, so in this show, I'm vocally singing one of the parts and then rapping one of the parts. And then, still other film and TV placement stuff with 310. We had a song that came out today.
Yeah, so 310 had a song came out today called Let It Burn. Okay, and I listened to it this morning. It's so good, and that's why I said your voice earlier, because I'm like,
sweet.
It's so surprising because, some people you can like, oh yeah, you see like that voice goes with that person. Like you just kind of like put it. I was actually surprised, like, dang, I love this sound. It's so unique and like has this like, like bluesy grit and it's really special.
Isn't that wild?
No, it's awesome. Has that always been your voice?
I would say probably, you change your voice, at least for demos. When I'm singing for other people, you try to sound like different people. So I feel like I've been like...
You can kind of do whatever. Yeah.
Doing things. But if I would say, I've always loved like emotional singing. And to me, like if you can make it emotional and make it authentic, then you're winning. And when artists change, like artists have different like seasons, and sometimes it's like getting more into that emotion, sometimes it's like playful, it just depends where you're at, so I feel like this is my season of being a little bit more like badass grit, so that's kind of fun, and I love it that I'm doing it while I'm a mom, but the fact that, and even a lot of our other 310 stuff, it was a little more pop, but still the same vocals, it's that same kind of grit, and who would have thought that I would be in a band and be a lead singer of a rock band? Who thought? I don't know.
What's Let It Burn about?
It's actually political, but we won't get into that. Yeah.
Wait, we can get into it.
I mean, it's a bit political. I don't want to speak for my bandmates.
Okay.
Because not everybody always agrees on the same thing. So, but it's just basically about like it's not always black or white. There's like gray.
Okay.
There's gray smoke that we're inhaling.
Okay.
That's literally like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. If you saw the lyrics, I mean, you could interpret it different ways, but that's also how I love to write. I love to leave it up to interpretation.
Okay. Yeah.
Like how, like
not make it like super literal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's all. But okay, just as a writer, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So like, in terms of songwriting, I feel like there are so many different styles, right? Like there are really great songwriters who are much more literal.
Yeah.
Right. And then but then when you're taught songwriting, it's like. Literal is what you don't want to do.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, where do you come down on that in terms of, like, how to write?
Great question. I feel like it's different for every artist. I have a lot of artists who are very, like, conversational, and they want to, like, literally say exactly what they thought in their head in that moment when they were at the bar thinking about that guy, and then it'll make sense for them. And then we write like that.
Okay.
And then I also have, if it's for film and TV, sometimes it needs to be a little bit more like generally specific, right?
What is generally specific?
Generally specific. It's like you're not saying that guy I went to the bar on 7th Street in New York City on a rainy day. That you're like, what? Sometimes, but when you're an artist, you're like, you get into the details because it's fun in those verses, and you still can in those verses sometimes. But then those choruses, you want it to be like, it's kind of left open, like for everyone to be, like it could be
specific enough.
It's about something. Yeah. Like let's just use "Let It Burn." Not that I'm trying to like, but "Let it burn, let it burn." We've got a fire, let it burn. You're like that could be placed in any show. It could be like to the patriarchy. It could be to the this. Could be to the whatever it might be. It could be many different things. It could be a house fire, firefighters coming in. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that's not the best example.
Right. But could be.
But generally specific, where
could be some villain being like,
about,
let it burn. Why not? Yeah.
You're not talking about something specific that you ate that day in detail, because not everybody's going to relate to that, right? So it's a little bit more broad. And that's pop in a way, too. You want to make it easily digestible, not just lyrically, but melodically. Something that people, it's like a warm hug or feels like, oh my gosh, I could sing along to this. This is so nice, right? And it's different every time. Like the song that we just had on Hacks, that was different.
Was that on season 3 of Hacks?
That was just season 5.
Oh,
so
I'm
the
sorry.
Final
this current
season.
Season 5, yeah.
Season 5, episode 3.
Okay.
And it is, was it episode 3 or 4? But it basically, we were given the title Summer Squash.
Okay.
And they were like, write a song that sounds like a hit, top 40,
Called
that has Summer Squash. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, but of course, me, I'm like, challenge accepted.
Yes.
Absolutely. We will do it and we will make it sound amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like this almost, it's like a modern day, I don't know, rock star mixed with DNCE and Harry Styles. And it's just
I can't wait to go check it out.
It's got a vibe.
I haven't watched the season yet, which I really need to.
It's really good. So they play it, and she actually, the main character, she's like, I don't want to give away anything, but she basically says, what do you think this song is about?
Oh, they talk about the song?
They talk about the song.
Okay, I can't wait.
It's wild.
Okay.
And there's a famous actor who is singing it.
Okay.
So, and I will not divert.
Okay, all right. So everyone has to go watch.
Exactly. But this is the one that basically the network put up for consideration for the Emmys, the Primetime Emmys. Because there's a lot of Emmys. There's like children's Emmys. There's lots. But this is Primetime Best Original Song. So I'm like, do you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah.
But lots of ups and downs. This is not a linear journey. There's always like, you're figuring it out, you know?
Do you think that there is a destination?
Always a destination. I want to create things that I really, really want to create. And that I'm passionate about. And I think that comes first, like that it feels really good and it's like incubated and like, I don't know. I just think it's such a wonderful thing to be able to be in that space and do it not for the money, not for anything else, but because you genuinely love it and put those kinds of things out in the world. And I think that's true authenticity with artists. You know, when they're like really like believing and loving what they're saying, other people are going to believe you. Other people are going to buy in if you want to treat it like a business, but they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I believe what she's saying. You know, even with your podcast, like people love you because you're just so lovable. You know what I mean? And they buy into it because it's true. You're really when I met you, you're exactly the same person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, oh, she's such a vibe. I want to hang out with her. What better thing to have a podcast that someone wants to hang out with you, right? And I think that it speaks volumes, you know? And so if you do what you do now, obviously I haven't heard any of your music yet, but if you do what you do here and put that into your artistry, how can people not like it? If you're being authentic to yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, I love that so much. I feel like I could talk to you for days.
I'm sorry I talk so much.
Which don't be sorry about. That's amazing. Maybe we can do a part 2.
I love it.
Okay.
We should. We absolutely should.
Okay, that would be amazing.
To be continued.
To be continued.
TBC.
For now, I want everybody to go check out 310.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Right?
3ONEOH. And the new song's called Let It Burn.
Let It Burn.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you
your time
so much.
and energy.
I so appreciate it. Wow. Just wow.
Just wow. Okay, love you. Bye.
Iconic.
Iconic.
You know.